I picked up 1,000 $1 bills from my bank today in the search for some star notes, maybe some fancy serial numbers, some old bills, or some printing errors. Hey everyone, it's Rob Finds Treasure and welcome back to my channel. In front of me is 1,000 $1 bills and I'll be looking through them in hopes of finding something worth more than its face value. Now I have a lot of information regarding fancy serial numbers, star note lookups, and things like that. That's down below in the video description. Feel free to check that out if you're new to bill searching. That being said, with 10 straps, each containing 100 bills, we have 1,000 bills to sort through. I think what I'll do for this video is I'll hunt each strap off camera, and in the event that I find something, I'll bring you in. Otherwise, I'll do strap recaps, letting you know what I found, if I found anything, in every one of those 100 bill straps. Now, typically when I do a 1,000 bill search, I expect to find at least one star note per strap, so I'm hoping for at least 10, and fingers crossed we can get some rare ones. More importantly, though, I'll be looking for fancy serial numbers, and that's where when you look at the serial number here, it has a 8-number serial number that actually is either interesting or collectible based on the order of the numbers. All right, these are all teller straps. This is not a Federal Reserve brick like I tried to get. My bank didn't have one, so I don't know if these have been cherry-picked through at all, but I'll tell you right now, I can see they're not all in the right direction, which is kind of a bummer. Let me go ahead and start the hunt. I'll give you a strap recap after the first strap, unless, like I said, I find something cool. Before I start hunting the first strap, I figured I'd clarify. Teller straps are straps of 100 bills that the tellers have took out of their drawer or got back in deposits and made sure there was 100 in a strap. So because of that, if we have a savvy bank teller, they may have pulled out anything fancy or any star notes ahead of time. Just wanted to point that out. I'll be back with a recap of this first strap. So we finished hunting the first strap and I have 3 bills I want to cover with you. First, we found a birthday note. And as you can see by the date, 1991, 08/24, this note is probably collectible to somebody who has kids, celebrated an anniversary, or has a birth date on August 24th, 1991. I hold on to all birthday notes because they do sell for a premium to the right collector. The second note is a minor printing issue. You can see how high up the last digit of the serial number is, number 1. It's not uncommon to find serial numbers with a raised last digit of the serial number, but that one's a little bit more than normal. That being said, the bill's not in great shape, and because it's not in great shape, and because it's a minor printing error, I won't be keeping it. I just wanted to point it out. And then finally, this is a 1988A note, and you definitely want to be looking for what's called a web note. Now, a web note is a web press series issued in 1988A, 93, and 95, and it was done so in an attempt by the BEP to reduce production costs. So basically, instead of having sheets, they had rolls, like toilet paper rolls of notes that were printed. You can tell if it's a web note for 2 spots, really. 1, if it doesn't have this plate position number right here, it's a web note. And then 2, instead of having the plate serial number down here, you would actually have that number adjacent to In God We Trust up above. But because that number's there, and because it has this number here, we know it's not a web note. Anyway, that's the first 3 notes. Of all of these notes, I'll only be keeping the birthday note. And now we've got to move on to strap number 2. Strap number 2 is pretty much a bust. The only note I pulled aside for conversation is this trinary note. Trinary means that the serial number is made up of only 3 different numbers, 7s, 1s, and 2s. And although it has some fanciness to it, you can see a 7, 712, 1, 712. It's not worth keeping and it's in terrible shape. I don't even keep trinaries unless the order of the numbers makes sense. Like, had it been 111, 222, 33, something like that, probably would keep. It also was close to being a repeater. If this 1 right here had been a 7, it would have been 7712, 7712. I only pulled it aside to share some information about it. Other than that, it's not a keeper at all. And we have 2 straps down and only a birthday note to speak of. No star notes yet. Let's move on to strap number 3 and see if our luck changes. Strap number 3 had 1 find and it gave us our first star note through 3 straps. It's kind of a low serial number, 000-18195, 2017 star note. I'll definitely take it. And as a quick reminder, at the end of the video, any and all star notes that we find, we'll be checking them to see what their total printed is and their total print run to see if we have any rare ones worth more than a few bucks. We'll put that one to the side and move on to strap number 4. Strap 4 was another tough strap. I did hold one bill aside for a little bit of a discussion here. This is a 1999 bill, and even though it's older, it doesn't really have any value at all other than face value. I will let you guys know that I do like seeing older bills because they are pretty much destroyed after they become unusable, but I'd only keep the older bills if they're in the 60s or earlier. That being said, if I come across some 1981 notes that are crisp uncirculated, I'll probably keep a few of those as well. Anyway, nothing going on with that strap. And surprisingly, we have already gone through 4 straps now with only 1 star note. Hopefully, we see a few more. Strap number 5 gave us a couple of star notes. Good to see them. Both of them are 2017. Both are high runs of the K series. I don't think there's going to be anything rare there, but we'll find out at the end of the video. Time to move on to strap 6 once I get it opened. Strap number 6 has been hunted, and it was a pretty tough strap, but it did give us the world's worst condition star note, or at least the worst condition I've seen in a long time. We'll take it, although it's just another K series from 2017. We'll add it to the star notes and move on to strap number 7. Strap number 7, another tough strap. No star notes, no fancy serial numbers. We did find an older birthday note, 1934, January the 3rd. Of course, this person would be celebrating their 89th birthday come January, so probably not a birthday note that one would normally hold on to, but maybe a grandparent of somebody or a parent of somebody who's watching. So I'll hold on to it for a little bit, typically not one I would keep. We also found a where'sgeorge.com bill, and I went ahead and plugged it in, and this bill has not been tracked in 8 years, 57 days, 19 hours, and 45 minutes. I was the only second entry to ever put it into the system, and it took over 8 years to just move 19 miles since the last entry. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. We don't really keep those, but I do log them in once in a while when I find them. Strap 8, help us out. Strap 8 definitely helped us out a little bit. It gave us 3 star notes, including one from 2001, and I don't see a lot of star notes pre-2009 anymore. So it's nice to see that. We'll see if it's a rare one. We got one from 2017, a little bit low over serial number from the L series, and a 2013 series star note, but instead of the B series that might have duplicated star note numbers, this is the H series. On top of that, I pulled aside almost a cool find, 68080008. It just looks kind of fancy. Unfortunately, that 6 in the beginning needed to be an 8 or a 0, and it would have been a really cool note. Just wanted to point out it was an almost hitter, but it definitely isn't. And then we also had another 1988 A series note here, and definitely has that plate number there, as well as the plate number below 1 and not next to In God We Trust. So it's not one of the more rare web notes, although it's slightly off center, no value in that condition. We'll be keeping the star notes. We'll add them to the star notes, and that makes 7 now through 8 straps. We need 3 more in the last 2, and we could use some more fancy serial numbers. I'll be back with the strap wrap-up of strap 9 next. Strap 9 really only had one find, and it's a pretty crunchy birthday note. We seem to be finding the birthday notes today, but nothing else. 1985, 11/19. So November 19th, 1985. Could be one of your guys' birthday notes, so I'll add it to my birthday note collection I got going on. And the second note is a 1977A. I haven't seen a 70s note in quite some time, and it is cool to see a 77, but I don't keep them unless they're perfect. It's not in that bad a shape, but it's not old enough for me to warrant holding on to it. We'll add it to the strap and get on with the last strap of the hunt. Strap number 10 will give us our 8th star note of the hunt, so 2 behind what we had hoped for, and it's another one of those damaged older notes. 2013 K series, probably not rare, but of course we will be checking it. We actually had a series 1995 It definitely has the numbers in the wrong spot, so it's not a web note, and it's a shame because it's in decent shape for an older bill, but not worth keeping. And then I only pulled it aside because it was almost fancy. Another trinary, 2747, 4272. Kind of cool, but not quite. It just looks nicer than it really is. We'll be sending that one back, and that's going to conclude the 10 strap hunt that we have today. You saw the 3 birthday notes. Now it's time for me to go ahead and sort these star notes by year and series, and let's hope we have a rare one there worth a few more bucks than face. Well, we checked all the star notes, and unfortunately, none of these have a low print run or a low total printed run, so there is no rare ones. Star notes like these fetch 2 to 3 times face for most of the conditions. Something like this might only be 1 or 2 times face, really, but I usually keep these aside until I get lots of 50 or more, and then I sell them. I'll tell you, this A series was almost a home run. It's a low serial number, but I checked online, and had it been a higher serial number, 25,000 run size on sheet prints. Man, definitely would have loved to have that. That's about as rare as they come. I went ahead and checked to eBay, and there's only been 2 sold listings for A series 2017 star notes within that range in the last 6 months. One sold for $400 and one sold for $250. That's why you look for those rare ones, because if you can find them, that's a big time profit. We didn't find anything really valuable today, but like I've always said, whether it's bills or coins or whatever, you can't find it if you're not looking for it. Hopefully, despite the lack of finds, you guys still found this bill hunt informative and fun. If you did, I'd appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.